ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon.
Well, we are live. Happy Thursday. My name is Robert Bannon. Welcome to the Roundtable, and I'm so excited because I have live friends coming on. What can possibly go wrong with this next group of people that are coming on? So I'm a little terrified because this is going to be quite a moment. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Last week, we celebrated 1 year, over 1 million views of this show. Robbie Roselle of Broadway Records took over the controls, and we celebrated a year together. We counted things down. And I'm so happy to have control back because I'm such a type A crazy person that I needed to be in charge of the buttons. So welcome, everybody. Thank you all so much for being here and for all the love. Hi, Linda. Welcome to the show. I'm ready for you. I'm here. We're doing this right now. Well, I'm going to get right to it because, I do a little bit of a little opening, but I don't want to take too long because I love this group of performers that are coming on. So here's my week in review. So I want to give a big shout out to the Monet exhibit that is happening right now in New York City. Thank you so much for having me. Look, you could immerse yourself in Impressionist. Does it not look amazing? Thank you to everybody over at OMDKC and inviting us over for the Monet exhibit. It was definitely a fancy night. It was way fancier than I'm used to being. I'm a way cheaper date than that. So I appreciate everybody for all of that. And thank you. Hi, Christine. How are you? Nice to be here with you. And what happened? I haven't seen you really since New Year's because last week's show, I didn't get to control. So happy New Year's to everybody. My New Year's was spent with my goddaughter. We were very chill. It was a very quiet, nice, lovely time. It's good to see you. Last week's controversy. So last week, Robbie did the Inside the Actor Studio questions. What's your favorite sound? What sound do you hate? What sound do you love? And one of the questions was, what's your favorite curse word? Well, as we all know that in real life, I teach 5th grade in North Bergen, New Jersey. And I answered the question on air. And my favorite curse word was MFer because it's a funny ass word. But I didn't say MFer. I said it. So I go off the show and I go on to Instagram, and one of my students posted this. Yeah, that's me. That's me. There you go. And that's it's my favorite moment of my whole life. So now it's become a thing. I got a calendar in the mail about my favorite. We've created a thing. First he's gay. Now he says, I'm definitely fired. When I'm fired, I'm moving to LA. David, I'm moving into your house. Move over. So So I want to just say thank you for everybody who watched that. And yeah, sometimes I forget that actual people watch this show other than just, my mom and you. Here's my shameless plug. Take a peek.
'Cause I'm shameless.
So we are bringing the Broadway lecture series back to New Jersey. We had Miles Frost was with us, who as the Tony Award winner for MJ, and we are bringing back the Broadway lecture series, and I would love to announce that on March 11th at Stageworks, right here in Jersey. Star of The Lion King and Ain't Too Proud, Jelani Remy, New Jersey's own Jelani Remy, will be here. So in the upcoming weeks, I hope that you can pay attention if you want to know what it's like to work for the mouse and be in the lion costume in person. We'll have more information on all of that, and you can find all of that information and more over at robertbannon.com. So thank you all for all of that and all of the love. And we'll be talking about some, before I bring them out, do you see what people got me for Christmas? Do you see my gay nutcracker? Which there's so many jokes, but after last week's MFer joke, we don't need pictures of that. We'll let that go. I got a can of Barry Manilow's nuts, which also a lot of jokes that we'll just let go. So thank you for everybody who decides to send me this. It's really entertaining and will live on my bookshelves forever. I want to talk about 3 amazing performers, and I want to bring one of them out. Okay, so a couple of years ago, Edelyn, this is the student who drew that picture. Edelyn, your art skills are amazing. They're just fantastic. But you all think it's funny. It's funny until I'm unemployed, Peggy. And thank you, Christine. So what's going to happen is we're going to bring David out. David is somebody who, how to tell this story. David posted a story. David was singing at the Apollo with Shoshana Bean, who we've been lucky enough to have on one of these shows. And David posted something that really moved me, and I reached out to him and I told him, and then he was in New York and we met, and then I've stalked David around this country. As David's toured this country, I've been so excited for his success, and he's brilliant. He's a brilliant musician, but on top of that, he is also just a wonderful person. So David Simmons, get out here.
Hello, hey.
How are you?
I am so good. It is so good to talk to you.
It feels
like it's been forever.
It has been too long, David.
Yes, it has.
You're back. You're back. No more fajitas and margaritas. You're now.
No, I am back.
Yes. Well, welcome back and congratulations. If you don't know, everybody, especially in this, not in LA, but around the world, the Troubadour is literally one of the most historic venues. Elton John, Carole King, James Taylor, David Simmons. So can you tell us what's going on?
Oh my gosh. So a friend of mine, her name is Lydia Renee. She's kind of spearheading the night along with a group called Sound Collective Presents. And there's just the lineup for the night is incredible. Each person is going to get 40 minutes to kind of showcase themselves, bring people in. And I feel lucky enough to be one of those people. I'm first up, so I'm kind of starting the night, and the rest are these just beautiful, talented, amazing young women that are going to bless your ears.
And you're going to bless everyone's ears. You will. And it's on the 31st of January. So you have a moment. It's at 7:00. So make sure you go to troubadour.com, or you can go to David's social media on Instagram and click the link in the bio, and you can get your tickets and be highly entertained. You're bringing people with you. You're just not taking your 40 minutes by yourself like a selfish artist I would. You are sharing. What is that?
Well, I mean, these two guys have been, it's funny because I feel like both of them, I love them from afar and like manifested our friendships, and now we're all in one space. So we kind of have been like teasing, like we should start a boy band. And this was just the perfect opportunity to like make that like happen. So we're all going to sing together, and it is going to be the highlight of my part of the show, I feel like.
Well, where are they? Here is Devin, Velez, and Mario Jose. Welcome.
Oh my God.
Mario.
Hello, friends.
Hello, Devin. I know this one. Mario, I don't know you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
It's so nice to meet. I've watched you on my YouTube for so long.
Oh my
and
gosh,
it's so nice
thank you.
And we've had so many mutual people of yours on this messy show. And I know these two, and now you're stuck with me, Mario.
Well, I'm just adding to the mess because like Marie Kondo says, I love mess.
Devin, I love you, Devin. How are you?
Robert, it's always a pleasure. It's so good to see you.
Devin had the poor misfortune of singing with me this holiday.
Don't start with me. Don't start with me.
Misfortune.
Poor misfortune.
Well, you don't want to sing.
We had the best time. We had the best time. We had a duet together. I mean, we had a sold-out show at MK Valencia. I had a lot of martinis. I had several martinis, actually. It was just a great holly jolly fa la la time.
It sure was, and we didn't even rehearse, but we did it. And isn't that the best? That is the best. David, when you take a 40-minute set and you reach out to Devin and you reach out to Mario, can you tell us a little bit? All of you have a plethora of material. If it's the Scary Pockets and the PMJs and the original stuff and the covers and the viral videos and all that you've done. How do you each of you approach, we'll go around in a circle. How do each of you approach a set list? How do you build a show, David? How do you build your 40-minute set?
Wow. Well, I feel like it's new for me to kind of have a moment like this. So I think for me, it was just kind of based on what I had been doing really on social media right now, which I've been creating these kind of short neo soul covers of things. So I wanted to incorporate that along with some stuff that I have written myself. So yeah, kind of that. I've always just kind of wanted to create songs and make them my own. So I feel like this is just the perfect time for that.
That makes sense. Perfect sense to me.
The perfect time it is. Yes, it is.
Yes,
Yes, it is.
Devin, how about you? How do you approach the idea of putting the set list together?
Well, for something like this specifically, I think it's so beautiful because it's, the night is kind of like a showcase, right? There are so many amazing artists. Everyone sings kind of a different style, has a very unique voice. So when it comes to shows like this, I don't mind doing some covers just because I think a night like tonight, or not like tonight, a night like this would be, it's just to have a good time. It's to show people why I do what I do. So I always include some originals, but I also include just songs that make me feel good to sing. I think if I can't show them that I'm having a good time, I feel that it's going to be hard to keep them engaged. And so for me, it's like I get to hold the microphone, which means I get to sing whatever I want. So you guys are going to love it because I'm going to love what I'm doing. So everything from just a classic to maybe a song that no one knows that just means a lot to me. I really take it selfishly when it comes to a showcase like this.
I understand. And how about you, Mario?
Ditto to both of them. And on top of that, I think the beautiful thing about the three of us and this show is that we are all genuinely massive fans of each other. And I mean, without hesitation, David and Devin are two of my favorite male vocalists of all time. And to share the stage with them within itself is like, we could sing the effing ABCs, and I'm like, yeah, I'm on board. Yes. But I think all of us love to tell stories. And I think when I go into putting myself together for a show of my own, I like to perform as much original music as I can, but then pick a handful of covers that really mean something to me. I normally don't perform a cover that I've done with Scary Pockets or PMJ because even though that they were fun to do with the band, I don't know if it's the same setting. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I haven't really covered those songs in one of my own shows. Like connection and storytelling are my favorite parts of music, and I think that's what helps me assemble a set list.
Well, I mean, Marie here says your voice it's total love. I mean, I don't know any of you
so right
are struggling with tone and quality to your vocals. I mean, you're just all butter. Gorgeous,
literally
butter. And Mario, we'll all wait and we'll all do an a cappella version of a song at the end with you, just right now, just off the cuff. No, I'm kidding. No, not me.
The delay.
Not me. No, David, I want to say your last single, the last single that I know, the Take On Me single, you're so good at taking a song, talking about neo soul, taking a song that we all know, it's so iconically put in a box that we all, and you flip it on its head, you change the arrangement and all of that. Where does your inspiration come from when you would you hear it? Does someone give you a suggestion?
Talk slowly too, David, because some of us over there taking notes. Just
me too.
How do you?
I mean, I'm talking to Mario and Devin. Like, I feel like we have a lot of the same inspiration and like just places that musically that kind of drive us the same. But I mean, just a lot of the old singers like Stevie Wonder, Luther Vandross. Like, I always try to pull from that. But I have this like really deep love for like jazz and like neo soul specifically, and I've always had a dream of just wanting to like create songs that I had a version of a song I had like in my brain. So I just kind of just started to do it. I have no idea what I'm doing as far as like creating the music part, but I was just like, who cares? So
Well,
I just
I don't, David, I don't know how much, I'm not trying to shout you out because I know you personally, but I don't know if people who have listened to your music and know all of that, like your story, how you were like plucked and brought across, like your story is would you mind, can you share a little, please? Because it is truly something that is God, I don't know. Say
yeah,
no.
I mean, it was just I feel like it was just the power of social media, really. And I sang a cover of a Backstreet Boys song back when I was living in Kansas City, and somebody just happened to tag Shoshana on it because she did a PMJ version of it, and she saw the tag and she DM'd me right away and said, "I want to sing with you," and I was like, "That's great, but I'm in the middle of the country. Like, that's so nice for you to like to reach out to me, but that is never going to happen." But she weirdly had a cousin that lived in Kansas City, so she came to Kansas City. She invited me to her cousin's birthday party. We sang that night, and she just sat me down and said, "What are you doing with your life?" And I was just like, "I'm working." At the time, I was kind of in a local band doing some local stuff, and I was pretty content with that because I was just involved in music. And she said, "No, you should move to LA." And I just that had never been a thought of mine because I just thought there's no way there's room for someone like me, just a no one in the middle of the country. And she said, "No, I think you would be all right if you came." And so she planted that seed, and I dropped everything. And 2 months later, I just drove out to LA and lived in a friend's studio. It was a moment. But I mean, I'm just glad that she kind of placed that in my mind and in my heart, because I know that I suffer from a lot of like, I'm not good enough. I'm just not good enough. And she was someone that I looked up to that said, "Yeah, I think you are." And that to me was just the push I needed at that time to really just kind of see what I can do. And in that, I met these two beautiful people, and I feel like the story just continues to grow because I don't know. I feel like I just want to make myself available to anything and everything that can happen. And it's just been crazy.
It's only just begun, and you toured around the world, and you have much more music and so much left, and we're all here for it and so excited to see what magic you create. Devin, you're somebody who, it's true. You're somebody who's made quite a leap. You're back in LA, back on the LA grind of it all. Watch out.
Finally.
Tell us,
Yes.
how's it back to being on a coast like a LA or a New York, and in the recording studio and back in sessions and back on the road and doing all of the things?
It's been kind of crazy, but to be honest, I hate to put him on the spot. Mario specifically was probably, between Mario and another mutual friend of ours, they were the two that just kept nagging me throughout the years. Like, you need to get back to LA. Like, what are you doing? Like, please just get back. And I remember having those conversations where I'm just like, I don't know, like, if I'll even have work. Like, I don't know if it's for me. I don't know if I'm ready for it. And, you know, long story short, I to kind of piggyback of what David was saying, you kind of have to take that chance on yourself, but it's only when you know you have that community. I think that the one thing I've learned last year, sorry, now that it's not this year anymore, was just, you know, that phrase that you hear people say when they refer to LA of "it's who you know." I took that on, but not as a way of advancement, but it's who you know that's important, that will also keep you safe, right? It's not just like that can give you an opportunity to the next level. It's just like, who do I feel safe with here? And my community here in LA, I'm all of the words, all of the lucky, all of the blessed, all of the humbled, just to have the people that I have in my life, because just these two gentlemen here, I can talk with, I can laugh with, I can write with, I can show them work before it's posted, because I know that they will keep my gift sacred the way that they keep their gift sacred. And so it's been a crazy time being here in LA, but it's not as scary as people make it sound, at least for me, because I know that I have great people around me. And so it's made me feel like I can just hit the ground and run. And if I fall, I know that someone's going to help me up and show me maybe what to do differently, without judgment, without exploitation, without malice. It's an amazing time. And I think that I'm glad that I'm now looking at myself with a little more grace, because I thought that I wasted so much time before coming back to LA. And, everything happens for a reason. And I had to grow up. Maybe I had to grow up in the city so that when I got here, I was like, oh, y'all ain't nothing. Y'all don't scare me over here. Maybe I had to grow up a little in a different circumstance to now be here and now be so sure of myself with the friends that I have, and we can just all blossom together.
Everybody, don't let Devin's beautiful voice fool you. He is scrappy. He will throw down in the middle of the street.
1,000%.
Mario, he is Chicago too.
Oh,
Mario, you're the Cali one. West Coast, and then you're a slouch. You went to Berkeley like a schlub, and learn nothing. Know nothing.
No paying for it.
Tell us, how was your journey? When did you decide music was for you and that you were going to study it and this was going to be your life's work?
Oh wow. I would say oh my gosh, I'm going to chime in on what they both said.
Please.
Once we get to that point of the journey. But the journey of music has been my entire life. My mom sings and my dad plays trombone, and they have this little tape deck of me on a dictaphone at 2.5 years old singing. And it was funny because my mom sings, and when she came, it was just me and my dad. And I would sing, ABCs and It's a Small World and all that stuff. And then my mom walks in and the tape, she's like, sing for mommy. And I was like, I was cognizant that I was like, I'm not singing in front of a singer. There's no way. I'm like, nope. But it's been my entire life. I was very involved in school. I did band, I did improv, I did student government, but singing was always at the core of it. And I heard about Berkeley in 7th grade and just kind of was like, I can study pop music for my job. And I didn't I just, everything was geared towards that. So I did a couple years at Fullerton College, which is in Southern California, and transferred over to Berkeley and finished my degree there. And then moved to LA. This coming September will be 12 years ago now. And which is crazy to think, out of the three of us, that I am the LA vet. And I mean, because it's been 84 years in this crazy town. But I think, and I'm not saying that they haven't faced their own challenges in this city, David and Devin, but meeting them. And because I started, I was 22 when I moved here, and I just navigated all of the BS. And I spent my first 2.5 years here. I thought I had my crew. I thought they were all my friends, and it was my whole world flipped upside down. And I was like, nope, LA's horrible. I want to leave. I'm depressed. I hate it here. It is Hollywood. It is everything that they warned us about. And I just took a couple months and went home to the Bay and just really thought, okay, can I move back to this very boring suburban town? And the answer was absolutely effing not. And so it was just I had a lot of friends that I didn't forget about, but they reminded me that I belonged here. They helped me along the way, and it's so. I found a community that wasn't worried about climbing this way. We were worried about expanding this way, and then we can rise together. And it's I made a comparison to a dear friend of mine, Vincent, who's an incredible artist himself. I said that, yeah. What's that?
He's been here. So
great. Okay, so yeah, we lived together for 5 years, and it was this. And all we knew each other from Berkeley. We weren't very close, and then he had a bitchy roommate that kicked him out and was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I was like, well, come stay with me until you find a place. And 5 years later, we were still roommates. So I made the comparison when we lived together that finding your way through the music industry is like climbing Mount Everest. You need a team of people. Yes, you need your specialists and like the people that know mountains very well, like your producers and managers and agents and things. But then you also need your fellow climbers that are just, we're all trying to figure this out. And if I start to fall, like Devin said, you have someone to pick you up there. And Devin and I were on American Idol together in 2012. And he actually like made it on the show. I was like, I've had longer naps than I was on American Idol. So naps is not normally the word I choose, but we're a family show. And so I thought, anyway, we'll be good today. But and what both Devin and David share is not only, they're the kind of people that I describe as the only thing bigger than their talent is their heart. And that's what Los Angeles needs. Like, and so I will fight for people that I believe in, and I will fight for friends, especially gay men of color. Like, we need to support each other. I love it, and it's just like this beautiful, just bond that I like. Look at them, and I'm like, I got you. Like, whatever I can help expedite and get you through that you don't have to go through any BS, I will do, because I believe in them, not only as musicians, but as people. And so I very, very much, ever since David came into my life, I mean, like, it's just like, yeah, they're my people. They're like, if I can never do a gig, they're the first two I recommend. I was like, I'm actually out of town. Here's 2 names. And they'll do a better job than I would have done. But it's just, it's the community that makes this city so beautiful, when we were warned how cutthroat and horrible it could be. And I think I finally figured out how to get the BS out and welcome in more beautiful people like these 2.
Like the 3, like you all, what I know of the LA singing scene, which is a huge business and is a small world of singers, is that there's a lot of it's a hard business, like any show business. There's great people and tough people and all sorts of people, and to have you all as a community is so important. Because David, what if someone asked me, I want to break into singing, it's session singing, background singing, recording, general, television, film, singing. It's very intimidating. It's very overwhelming. And it's like a club that you're not allowed to be a member of until you break your way in. What do you tell people that ask you, how did you do it? You came from the middle of America and flew out to Los Angeles with your bags under your arms. What have you learned along the way?
Wow. I mean, they kind of touched on, I feel like, a lot of it. And I feel like Devin said, like, I feel like being centered in yourself first is something that I suggest everyone get to know yourself first before you come to really do anything you want to do in your life. Because I feel like you are less it's easier for you to stay grounded in that way. And then the second, like they said, the community is huge. When you find people that want to encourage you and lift you up and tell you even the truth, but in a way that allows you to grow and feel loved, like that, it's going to take you so far. And I feel like in having those things, then things just kind of like, you were making room for things to happen. And I feel like that's exactly what happened to me. Is, I mean, I had Shoshana, but I mean, I too didn't want to be like, I didn't want to rely on her and just, tug on her shirt every now and then and say, hey, how can I do this? What can I do? Like, I wanted to find my own way. And in that, I just met so many people like Devin and Mario, who, like they said, are just, the amount of encouragement that I get from these 2, it's just, you can't buy it. You can't purchase it. It's just, it's endless. It's endless. And I feel like when you have those things, when you know yourself, and when you have people that are championing you, then you can't go wrong.
Absolutely. I'm sure Mario will be back. His device is not connected, so he disappeared. We offended him. I blame
Something
you.
tells me his iPad probably died.
Yes.
Probably died. Dev, to piggyback on what David was saying, I've seen you work with, when we did our thing in Jersey, I see you work with, you're very generous. He's back. He's back.
I don't know technology.
Offended you. I understand.
I was just trying to mute because my laundry's going in the back, and then I was like, oh, I'll just go to my little box, and then it ended it all.
No. You can come over and do my laundry, please.
Oh my God.
Dev, you are somebody who I've seen you work. You're very unselfish in that way. It's not all about just you. You provide space and support for young singers all the time. What is something that you wish you could have told you, 10, 12 years ago?
I mean, I sound like a broken record because to piggyback off what David said, I really am a firm believer in you have to know you first. And I think one of the things that I actually, it's funny because I said I was going to take notes, but I actually take notes for everything. One of the notes that I wrote down because I was inspired while David was talking was, the concept of like lost and found. You can only be found if something's lost. And when I moved to LA, I was already kept. I was found. I had found myself. So you can't get swayed any which way if you know who you are before you walk into certain situations. I think everything, to be bullied, it's like, okay, I can't get bullied because I'm sure of me. So you can say something, and if it's not true, I'm going to get my 8 hours of sleep and you'll catch this left hook. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to feel bad. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to think, oh my God, this is what people think of me because Mario, I'm sick. But it's just that, if I could go back in time and tell myself something, it's just, please keep looking for you. Like, what do you want to do? Not what is expected of you. We will not get into this topic right now because there's not nearly enough time. But, I know that David and I similarly grew up in the church, and I know that had a huge impact in how I viewed myself and how I chased certain things. And so now that I'm a fully autonomous individual who has done a lot of self-growth, a lot of image work, a lot of just internal work, I've reached a point where it's like I'm gonna do what I want, and so long as it's not hurting people, I don't pour into a cup unless mine is full first. Same way that when you're on an airplane, they tell you to put that mask on first before you start helping people. It's like, listen, I have to do this for me first. But you asked specifically about making room for other singers. There is enough room for all of us. It's just like whoever came up with the idea that there was not, and you had to gatekeep, it's just like, you're full of it. There is actually room at the table for all of us. And when there isn't, like Mario said, you need other people in your corner. Get a builder to build you another table so that you can sit at it. My time, what's allocated for me is my set list. And for example, David being so generous, wanting to do a song with the three of us because we've talked about it for so long. His set is still his set, but we get to share that moment with him. And when you're with people that have this much integrity, I know that none of the three of us is going to try to outshine the other. It's just, we're going to be present because we are getting to do what we love with people that we love. And that is the room that we have in that show. So it's about being responsible, like just take ownership of what's yours, know when to restrain, know when to take a step back, but also don't do it for any other reason but because you love to do it. I think I remember I can look back at performances and watch myself and see that I was only doing it because of what kind of stage it was and how many people were in the audience and who was there. And I don't feel good about stuff like that. I would much rather sit at Hotel Cafe that's not sold out, or sit, busking on the street, or get on Instagram Live and have 3-4 followers, but have somebody tell me I needed that today. Thank you for that. It's just, I do it because I love it. And so that's the only thing that I would tell my younger self. And every time I perform with anyone who I've never worked with before, I hope that what they see is that I love what I do and I don't take it for granted any day, any moment.
I hear that. That's Darius Wheeler's in Detroit right now, amening and cheering you up, Devin. Detroit, another scrappy city. Mario, a question for you after their deepness. Can I liven this up a moment with you, Mario? I want to say you singing with other people is not my skill set. Like that is not my skill set at all. So what is your videos with singing with other singers, millions of views, and singing with these two great singers. What goes into an arrangement when you're going to sing David's show, Mario? You're going to sing together. Do you have an arrangement? Do you just pick a note and sing? What happens?
That's a great question. I think it's so dependent on the other singers, and I'll say it. We haven't rehearsed yet for the show. And so when we do, it was so easy where I know their voices so well that I know that like David's richness as like a tenor, two, or baritone, and then me in the middle and Devin on top would be the prettiest blend. And I think they would agree. Devin acts like he can't sing high.
I know, I saw it.
I don't know if she's a singer or an actress because
he lives up there.
That's it.
The top.
The
What is
second
he, he's a
to the
bass?
right. That's Devin's range.
I'm giving tuba. I'm giving bass. I'm giving boom boom boom.
Athlete. So let's talk. Incorrect. Let's call it how it is. Devin's and it's just like, and there's certain things that we can also communicate. Like I feel like over the years, I know you didn't want to go deep, but over the years that my falsetto has not retained its strength, but I'll yell loud high. But in terms of a blend, when you want to sing with other singers, I can't give the finesse and beauty that Devin can when he's up there. And it's just like, I think the blend and the care that the three of us will enter into this vocally is something that is going to be so exciting. And we all knew it because, again, exactly what Devin said. We don't want to step on David's shoes or toes because this is a huge moment. Like we've said, the Troubadour is iconic, and he is opening the night and has his own set, and I love seeing David's journey coming from, I was in Kansas and now, or Missouri, and now I'm here with my own set at the effing Troubadour. Like that is no small feat. And I think that Devin and I both understand the gravitas of that and want to just be there to support him because he deserves it. And what better way to support him than we know how to, like, our favorite way to emote, our favorite way to connect. And so I think with the three of us, we'll come in together and we'll sing it like the original, and then we'll be like, oh, wait, do this here. Ooh, and then we'll be like, ah! It'll be a lot of that for 4 hours. And then probably like 2 of those hours will actually be working, and then the other 2 will be geeking out over each other.
Of course.
But it varies.
And there will be a tart involved.
Oh, absolutely.
Because y'all know I go crazy for a tart.
This fruit tart from Whole Foods has been he's got one right now, has become like a thing. And I got one from Porto's that was really, really good, which is a Cuban bakery here.
Yes.
But who knew that a fruit tart would bring so much unity? Which it does. Oh my gosh, you actually have one.
Is this your Whole Foods? Is this like the Whole Foods?
It is actually.
This is the Whole Foods, and y'all know that I live alone, but I did not get a miniature. I've had this for 2 days. I would just like to show the work that I've done in 2 days.
Good for you.
Come on. You better eat that tart.
Your fruit tart, Devin.
Delicate blueberry.
Yep.
But singing with other singers. I mean, we've all done it, and there's like one of my favorite videos. Actually, I think tied for first in my favorite video that I've ever done with Scary Pockets was this arrangement of the middle with India Carney and Kenton Chen. And India Carney, I don't know if she's been on the show, but I know you know who. If you're a singer, you know who India Carney is. And she arranged the beep out of this song and came over, and we spent the day learning this arrangement, and she didn't hold back, which is like a compliment within itself. I'm like, you have a lot of faith in me to be able to retain this arrangement. And she taught it to us by ear, and it's like one of my favorite videos I've ever done. And I have pull me closer, why don't you pull me close? That's my solo. I don't care because
Tone.
of what eject. It's because when you sing with singers of this caliber, of these men's caliber and women and beyond, you feel like a superhero. I say that I feel like an Avenger, like that part when all the women Avengers in Endgame were like, she's not alone, and then all they go and they kick Thanos' ass. Like, that's how I feel sharing the stage with these people, and it is the most rewarding feeling in the world.
Well, as you can tell, none of them have personality. They're not fun. And
very shy.
David, I have to. We alluded to it, yes. And Darius says this is Destiny's Child here, but you can all fight to be Michelle.
There's 3
When
Beyoncés.
Jesus say yes.
David, I have to say, before I even heard a word or note that came out of your mouth, I connected with you in a really weird, awful time in my own personal life, in my own coming out story journey. And then you shared your story online and connected with you. And I find so much about your journey. It's not just the music and that tone and that, it's just your demeanor, your personality. You're incredibly charismatic and amazing performer on stage. But the light and the love that you care and share throughout your journey and of your life is so inspiring. And I'm so proud to be your friend. And you have so much to offer. And I am so excited for this moment on the 31st of January for you. It is just the beginning.
Thank you. Wow, so much. And I mean, I'm just happy to have these people in my life, let alone on the stage. I'm telling you, that's going to be the most exciting part of the night for me, is just getting to sing with these 2 beautiful people.
Well, you're going to blow the place down and join the ranks of all of the greats that have stood on that stage, and it's all of your time to continue to shine and keep showing art. And I want everyone, if you're in the Los Angeles area, you need to go to troubadour.com. You need to get your tickets. Make sure you be there. It will be an amazing night of music. There'll be a whole bunch, but you don't want to miss this moment and all that David is going to do. It's at the Troubadour. Doors are at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock is the show. It's these 3 singing fools will be there. And we're all going to sit anxiously and wait for more music. David, Devin, Mario, more music. Get in the booth. Give us something. Do something. Is there something?
Oh, we will.
Working on something? David, yes?
You know, I'm sorry. Go ahead, David.
No, please.
I'm sorry, did you say, am I working on something?
Yes.
I would love to compile the versions of the songs that I have into an EP. So that's kind of where my vision is going into the new year. And hopefully some more original stuff too.
I love it. Dev?
I was saying I was going to wait to talk to the boys after this, but I feel like we should probably start talking about Christmas music, because I think the 3 of us, a cute little Christmas EP of just the trio. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, fa, la, la.
Ho, ho, ho.
Hello? Do you like, we have to do something, because I think we would be so good.
I'll share this with you for inspiration, an album cover.
Wow.
Mario, I'm here for it. What else is there to say after that? Mario, are you working on some new music?
Absolutely. I the first half of this year, I'm gonna kill my dog apparently. Boba. Okay. That's real life. Boba. Okay. This is real life. Laundry and dogs. The first half of this year, I am going to be on the road a lot with Scary Pockets. We are doing our first European tour, which I'm so thrilled for. And the latter half of the year, I promised myself that I would not kill my dog. And I have an EP's worth of original music written already, and I will be releasing original music this year. I'm going to mute myself so you don't hear me scream bloody murder at my dog.
David, break all the legs. Congratulations. I'm so excited to hear how it went. I will be texting you on February 1st to make sure, and I'll be out in February, and I'm going to need to give you a hug in person when I'm out.
Please. Thank
And
you so much for having us on this
we'll take you out for a taco or a margarita, and if you have to bring Devin, fine.
I'm in.
Because you already know I'm there. You already know I am there.
Hello.
I admire you all so much. Thank you all so much for being here. And I'm so excited for what's to come. Congrats, everyone. Go to troubadour.com, get your tickets, see David Simmons and Mario and Devin live and in person January 31st. Thank you all so much for being here.
Thank
We'll see you all
you.
soon. Thank you, David. Well, there you have it. Does it get any better than that? I mean, those are some singers for you all right there. Let's do Hey Friend Hey, shall we? Shall we do Hey Friend Hey? Did you love that? I loved it. Here's Hey Friend Hey.
I'll be there for you. How you doing?
Well, I thought of a friend of mine. I saw a friend of mine on trending. Can we look at Eden Espinosa? Do you know Eden Espinosa? Eden Espinosa is amazing. Take a peek at Eden Espinosa when she was on Broadway in Brooklyn. What? Eden Espinosa Broadway lecture series, June? Might be happening. Also, shout out to my friends who went to acting school with me, my good friends who went to William Esper with me. They think they're comedians. This is what they sent me. They said this is what they were doing on their New Year's Eve. Jerks. They're not funny. And that's Marie's song. So thank you, Kyle and John, for all of that. Everybody else watching, if you're in the New York area, Sunday nights, drag show, I got to check out the Keisha Carr show that goes on in industry. What it's like Yo, there's so many great artists out there. You all inspire me so much. I'm here for all of it. So, hey, friends. Hey, speaking of friends, Alli Mauzey was with me in my classroom. She stars on Broadway in a show called Kimberly Akimbo. And guess where it takes place? In a classroom in New Jersey. And I was in a classroom in New Jersey. You see that? Alli Mauzey was here. Take a peek at Wicked show, all that she does. Alli Mauzey, take a peek. So I'm coming to you right here in this glorious, glamorous 5th grade New Jersey classroom. You want to know a show that talks about schools in New Jersey? And you want to talk about an actress who has been on the boards for, I don't know what, we're going to talk about all things. Alli Mauzey is here, and I cannot wait to talk to her about Kimberly Akimbo and all the stuff that's going on in her. Alli, welcome.
Hi. I love that you're in a classroom. It's so perfect for our show, Kimberly Akimbo.
And Jersey knows Jersey.
Jersey school. I love it.
Well, if you don't know what we're talking about, where have you been? Why have you not been over yet to see Kimberly Akimbo right now playing on Broadway? And congratulations on the show's success and this journey. I mean, you've been with this show since it was like a little mini baby show.
Sort of, yeah. I mean, I did a workshop of it, and I got to go do it at the Atlantic Theater Company, and like best case scenario, our show went to Broadway, and people are loving it. So,
well, I'm coming on Tuesday, so I'll be waving to you from the seats on Tuesday. But tickets, you can get your tickets. Go to KimberlyAkimbothemusical.com. Make sure you get your tickets for the holiday. my uncle picks a Broadway show every year to bring all his grandchildren to, and he picked your show. And on Christmas Day, we sat down, and they know like I'm the theater nerd artist of the family, and they were like, it was so touching and so moving and such a sweet, beautiful show. So congrats to all the beautiful work you're doing up on stage.
Thank you. I have to tell you, I think a lot of people were gifted Kimberly Akimbo tickets because I personally. Oh, what period is it?
Going to lunch.
Is it a fire?
They're going to lunch. Bye, kids. Have a good lunch.
I love it. No, I think a lot of people were gifted Kimberly Akimbo tickets for the holidays. I know a ton of people who gave them as gifts based on them seeing the show. So I love that you were given that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I love it too. Well, let's talk a little bit about you. You're no stranger.
Okay, thanks.
You're no stranger to this world. I mean, you're from California. You're forgiven. Yep. It's okay.
Oh.
But you have your BFA. You came to New York. When did you decide to go to NYU like a slouch? When did you decide that this was the world? This was the artistic life was your calling?
Do you know, honestly, I mean, I did it as a kid. I just kept doing it. And then I had some guidance and I did it through school. And like, I think I knew it was on my radar as a career, but like, I didn't think that far ahead. And honestly, it's when I was doing Hairspray, the musical on Broadway, which is the show I made my Broadway debut in, I was paying my bills totally for the first time. I had a New York City apartment. I was like, everything clicked. And I was like, oh, I can do this for a living. This is what I want to do. You know, like, before that, it had been social and fun and hardworking, and it continues to be all those things. But I still get to pay my rent doing it, you know?
Absolutely. And what a blessing. Truly. So when you're talking about your career, especially on Broadway, we'd be remiss to not talk about a couple of credits. If I show you some pictures, maybe you want to tell us a little bit about what we're looking at as we take this little walk down memory lane. 2007. You may be familiar with this.
Cry Baby.
Speaking of Hairspray and John Waters and all of that, what was that experience like for you to be Lenora in Cry Baby?
Well, Lenora in Cry Baby, that was the first time I ever got to originate a role. And that was so eye-opening. And I got to be part of that early on in the process too, for the readings and the workshops. So I do feel like I got to contribute a lot that wasn't initially there in the script or even there vocally, and the creative team was super responsive to it. It was just like a really good fit for me. So it was so fun to get to help develop that character because it is a little different than the John Waters movie too. And then, you know, it was like, first of all, I made some of my best friends in that musical, like Elizabeth Stanley. I met her doing that. Cameron Adams and I, big Broadway dancer, done like 1,000 shows. I had known her from Hairspray, but then we got to do Cry Baby again together. Like, that was an awesome group of people. A lot of us still keep in touch today. That was awesome. I'd be lying if I didn't say by the time we got to Broadway, super exciting. We got 4 Tony Award nominations, but we closed right after the Tonys. So we were probably open between previews and everything like a few months. So it was short-lived on Broadway, and I'd be lying if I didn't say that was incredibly disappointing.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's a part of my career now where I've had that experience, and I have such a gratitude for first of all, for putting up a brand new musical. That's a lot of work. An original musical, like that's a lot of work. I'm much more kinder when I see new shows now because it's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And then I have a lot of gratitude, you know, like I'm in like this like successful show right now, and it's not always like that. So I have that experience to kind of compare it to, and I'm just like thrilled to be sitting in this chair in my dressing room at this moment, you know?
It is, you know, it breaks your heart when you think of I know some friends of mine who have written shows or been in shows or developed shows as you have. To let it live, it's so important that we support art, especially now on Broadway, especially post the pandemic and the world we're living in, to support art and artists, because these works have been years and years of time and dedication and money and people's entire lives, and we need to give them a chance to grow and build an audience and have a life. For sure.
Absolutely.
Well, speaking of a show that's kind of had a life, you many of you may have seen this moment. When, how, why, what was it like to be in the juggernaut that is Wicked?
I love Wicked. I look back so fondly at my time at Wicked. I started out in the New York. I bounced around so much. I started out on Broadway, and then I went to San Francisco for a time, and I had lots of breaks in between. I toured for 3 months, and then I went back to Broadway, and then I got married, and then I went back to Broadway. And it's funny when you look at like the years, when you like my starting year, which could have been like 07, 08 maybe, and then my ending year, which I think maybe would have been around like 2014 or 2015. Seems like I did the show for a really long time, and I did, but there was a lot of space in between that I got to do some like Crybaby even fit in between there after my first Wicked contract. But like Glinda is just one of those roles that I'm just like, to have like a funny soprano role is like dreams for me, it's what dreams are made of. Wicked's amazing because that fan base is incredible, and I loved meeting so many people at the stage door that they would tell me what Wicked means to them, or what For Good the song means to them. And that was the gift that kept on giving, for me. We did a lot of Make-A-Wish stuff for kids. And that show means so much to so many people. And I love that about doing Wicked. On top of the amazing music and the funny script and the heartfelt script and meeting some awesome alphabas along the way. And again, some of my closest friends. I secretly was hoping when Broadway was coming back and like all these shows with COVID and stuff were pulling deep in the benches. I was like, oh my God, wouldn't it be so fun if I got to do Glinda like one more time? And it would have been tricky because I was doing Kimberly Akimbo at the time, and it's this David Stone is the same producer. I was like, well, he knows I'm busy, so I guess that's not happening.
Well, but there still may be a chance. You never know.
The thing is with Wicked, you never know, because they have called me back so many times. Like, well, you never know.
Well, can you speak to you? You did it on Broadway, and you toured. You toured with Wicked. For all of these, a lot of people that watch our aspiring musical theater students out there, what is it like to park a show and be in the same theater every single night versus a show that, even if it's a long stretch like Wicked that can run in a city for a long time, what is it like to adjust and move and be on tour? Is there a difference between the tour life and the actual park and bark Broadway life of it all?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, when you're on tour, your work life and your social life is one and the same. It's all the same people, unless you're visiting a city that you happen to have family in or friends in, So, you're really on the road hoping for like a good group of people that you can also socialize with outside of the theater. And we did I remember being on the Wicked tour, and like we did like this Olympic type games thing like on our time off that one of the stage manager headed up, and like that was like so fun. I find when you're in a long running show, like in a sit down, like in New York City, you will and can socialize outside of work, but oftentimes like it's like any other job. You come to work and then you go home at night, and like I said, sometimes like we're going to start, Kimberly Akimbo's going to be in the Broadway Bowling League. So on Thursdays we'll be bowling. So like, that'll be fun to do. But most often it's like, you go home, you get your groceries, you do your laundry, like catch up on emails.
That's it. Well, the Broadway Bowling League has some legendary fun party nights, Alli. You better be ready.
I've always done the Broadway Softball League. It's one of my, honest to God, it's one of my favorite things about Broadway is the Broadway Softball League. I've never done the bowling. I will come be a cheerleader at bowling, but I'm a mom now. So like my mornings come so early. Like I turn into a pumpkin at like 11:30 p.m. at night. I'm just like, I need to go to sleep.
I understand. Imagine softball, but with a bar. So you.
Yeah. It sounds like a good time.
Well, another part of your illustrious career, besides symphony concerts and recording music and everything, is, maybe people don't know this, but what is this picture?
Oh my gosh. That's Lioness from Alpha Teens on Machines. ATOM. It was Adam. That was a great, fun gig, and I thought I was going to get fired every day. I did that in Los Angeles. I was working like with the actors on that show. It was the top voiceover actors in Los Angeles. I was making like my voiceover animated like debut, and there was a learning curve for me, and I was so insecure I was going to get fired like every day. I was so intimidated by all those actors. It was like Tom Kenny, who's like SpongeBob, like that caliber, But I tell you what, like having that that voiceover job. And Sue Blue directed it. And if you're of a certain age, you would know the voice of Sue Blue. She was the original Smurfette voice on the Smurfs, amongst many other a gazillion Broadway credits, but voiceover credits. But yeah, she directed all those episodes, and I was like, I cannot believe it's Smurfette, you know.
What a cool job. We've had a lot of voiceover actors on before, and then some that make their whole living. It's such a tight knit little community, but there's such an art to.
Well, I would say too, like what I would hear a lot of them say is like oftentimes if you would hear somebody say like, voiceovers, that's such an easy gig. Like I think you talk to those voiceover artists and that can be offensive because it is a craft, and they're not coming in just doing one voice or one, you know, take on something. They bring a lot to the table. That's why I was so intimidated by it. I was like, these people, I feel, I mean, that was my first voiceover job. I felt out of my league, you know.
But you did it, and now it lives. It's got its own
following. It was really fun.
Absolutely. So then that brings us back to Kimberly, which is playing right now. So everybody, like we said, make sure you go grab your tickets to see it. So when you first read the script, or you were first in the room that saw this be read on a table read or brought to life, what was it about this show in particular, the heart of the show, that drew you in to want to so badly be a part of it?
Well, when I read the script and when we were, and particularly when we were all the actors were doing it out loud, I laughed so hard. I laughed so hard at moments, and I equally feel such like a depth of sadness at times. It just runs these massive gamuts of emotion, like, and I would say like it's surprising in that way. You're not sure, like you might hit a moment because of the tone of it. You're like, I don't know whether to laugh or cry. Like I feel all of this at once. I just remember feeling things so deeply and carrying that with me as I would leave, you know, rehearsal, because, you know, at the end of the play, it's like, basically, what do we want to do with our time here on this planet? Who do we want to spend it with? How do we want to spend it? It's something we all think about or have to think about. And I appreciated the reminder at that time. It made me hone in on like, who do I care about the most in this world? And I'm going to be more mindful of saying, I love you, even if it's awkward, you know, because you never know, you know. But I love, you know, what David Lindsay Bear is so funny, and I love his sense of humor. And even though we're talking about life and death in this situation, like we can also laugh with it, you know, and that's helpful. It takes the edge off a little.
Well, there's not a better time than, at least in my lifetime, for something like this. We all need some hope and some laughter and some love to just kind of really spread around. Can you tell us a little bit? I mean, your cast is quite stacked. You have quite, and if you want to talk a little bit about what it's like to work with them, here's the legendary Victoria Clark right there. What can you say about working with this ensemble of artists and even the creative team?
Yeah, I was just thinking about this on the train the other day. I was like, gosh, like when it comes time to move on to a different project, I was like, I'm really going to miss this team. Rehearsals, I still miss rehearsals with this team, you know. There wasn't a whole lot of ego in the room from anybody, I would say, really, on that creative team. They're very good at what they do. So oftentimes I was like, I'm not going to override a lot of that, but they were very open to, you know, trying new things or they like changing things to better suit an actor, or, you know, I love that. It was a very accepting, you know, environment in the rehearsal room. And like this group of actors, like Vicky Clark, I mean, here's the deal. Vicky and I used to study with the same voice teacher. So before I met Vicky Clark, I used to hear about Vicky Clark. And of course I knew, you know, who she was, like the Piazza and some of her earlier work before that. And I just kind of looked up to her. So it's like a trip sometimes. I'm like sitting on the couch and Vicky Clark is rubbing my feet, massaging my feet, and we're having a back and forth. And I love the times with Vicky because she can be really playful, where like I'll say like this, for example, like, remember Snickers the cat? And I'll like say it in a way that's Snickers, or I'll like change it up, and she'll like play around with it too. And we'll kind of genuinely giggle. It's like Alli and Vicky laughing, but it's also like Kim and Patty, you know, laughing. I love the playfulness that Vicky can bring to moments. And just in all of her career. and what she's done, and to watch her in the rehearsal room, I'm just like, she's playing a role that we haven't seen her play before. And it couldn't be more different than, like, she's known for a lot of things, but definitely Mother in Light in the Piazza. It's like, this couldn't be more different, but equally amazing. She's just so impressive. And it's a funny group of people. I mean, Bonnie Milligan and Justin Cooley's making his Broadway debut. He is a star on the rise. And I was like, this is so fun to watch. And I'm like, gosh, where will Justin be like 5 years from now? And I'll be like, I knew you when you were a kid, you know? Gosh, and Steve Boyer is so hilarious because you could turn on the TV and you will see his face still be like, oh, there's Steve. Because he's been in like 1,000 movies and done a ton of TV. And it's always fun to see his face.
Yes, well, it's not a slouch of a cast by any stretch of the imagination. Justin is so dynamic, like what a magnet. And Bonnie Mulligan, I mean, she sings her. That y'all are up there. You are up there, for sure. I'm super excited to be there on this coming week. If you want to grab your tickets to see Kimberly Akimbo, it's a new musical that's playing right now in New York, and you get to see Alli and an amazing cast of characters up there with a show that's going to be about, and Jersey, all my Jersey, like.
I know, it's so fun. There's like, I mean, you don't have to be from Jersey to get this show, but I will say some of the Jersey jokes, I love the response, and I can tell when there's more Jersey people than not, like some of the city names that we say, and like they might get like a cheer. It's awesome. Yeah, it's so funny to get everybody to come over from Jersey and hear their responses.
I'm ready. I'm ready for it. Alli, you're such a pleasure. It's such an honor to talk to you, especially on a long Wednesday that you have about to hit you over the head. It's such an honor to have you here, and I wish you the most amazing run. Congratulations on everything, and we're looking forward to all of the fun, amazing work that you're going to create from moving forward.
Thank you. Hey, I'll see you on Tuesday.
I'll see you on Tuesday. It's a date.
Awesome.
I will be there on Tuesday. I'm eating salad because that's what I do. And then I go to the gym, and then I sit and I think about all you beautiful people who joined this time with me. I mean that too. That's me being funny. Look, here's the students. Here's the students. Is the back table comfy? Yeah. Alli came during my lunch period. We're in the back of my classroom. The kids are at lunch, and that's just this messy show. Sometimes I'm in my classroom. Sometimes I'm here at home. Sometimes I wear the same clothes I wore yesterday, so it looks like I did this today when I didn't. Just this is my welcome. If you're new to the show, welcome to the Roundtable. Everybody, if you want to help support the show, you could always Venmo at R. Bannon, and the money that you give to me automatically goes to support the show. It goes to promote the show, so we get more views. More views means better guests. Special announcement. I want to, firstly, my good friend Christine. Christine is going to see John McD, a friend of the show, and I'm excited for her. Alli has great opportunities, enjoying hearing some backstage stories of her career. She's fun and talented. She sure is. I'll be there on Tuesday. I'll tell you all about it in next week's Week in Review. But next week, there's no live show on Thursday because today I got an email from a lovely person that I've worked with before, and they said, hey, would you like to have Wilson Jermaine Heredia on your show? And I was like, the original Angel from Rent? And I said, yes, but his show is on Thursday. So we're going to do a show on Monday. Monday is Martin Luther King Day. So happy Martin Luther King Day. May we all continue to create a world that's equitable and inclusive to all people. And Monday night, we'll spend it with Wilson Jermaine Heredia, Tony Award winner, star of Rent, the Angel of Rent, and some other fun. We're calling it Life is a Cabaret because he has his cabaret coming up, and we're going to have a little bit of a cabaret party. So join me Monday. No live show on Thursday. Angel Taylor of Trinity 5-7 will be here on Thursday, and it will be the Roundtable Talks bonus show. So you'll see me Monday night live here, and then Thursday online. Hi, friend. Hello, I'm Mr. Bannon. Everybody, thank you so much for being here. I so appreciate you for supporting, for loving, and being here. To David Simmons, to Devin Velez, and to Mario Jose, thank you for sharing. 3 men queer men of color out here doing an amazing job singing their teeth out. Thank you so much to Alli. Go see Kimberly Akimbo. And thank you so much to each and every one of you for joining me. So nice to be here. And I look forward to seeing you so much on Monday. And Marie, I saw the Venmo and you're in trouble. Too much. Thank you all so much for your love and support. I so appreciate you. It's such an honor and a joy to be with you. And Marie, we're going to get Devin to do a duets concert. Everybody, make sure you take care of yourself. And remember, as always, the best is surely yet to come. Bye-bye. Have a good night.